Hi, I'm Tejas Curry and I'm an intermediate programmer.
Hi, I'm Pradyan, and I'm also an intermediate programmer.
Hi, I'm Derek Game. I'm an intermediate programmer, and we're all rising seniors in high school. In today's world, each and every person has the power to influence more people than ever, with mediums such as YouTube and other social media giving millions their own platform to speak. Speaking convincingly, meaningfully, and effectively is therefore extremely important in this time.
Yet, most of us have had little practice in giving speeches, and especially in understanding how our speeches are perceived by the audience. Sure, by playing a speech back to yourself, you can get an idea of how you're doing.
However, speeches need to have precise diction, clarity, emotion, and intonation in order to be effective. Because of this, we created Speech++ to provide an objective overview of all this information.
In order to most effectively analyze a speech, we want to segment it into distinct phrases. Our website takes the input audio, identifies brief pauses in the speaker's voice using SciPy, and slices the data stream in order to isolate the phrases in the speech. Afterwards, we feed these phrases into our speech-to-text function and pass both audio and text transcripts into our machine learning models.
I built a backend, which consists of two different machine learning models, recurrent neural networks for both sentiment analysis and emotional analysis, where the emotional analysis model was heavily based off a pre-existing model. The sentiment analysis model, created with TensorFlow, receives text and returns the sentiment associated with that text. The emotional analysis model receives text in the form of a WAV file or a speech file and returns the associated emotions with the speech.
So here's a demo of how our website works. First, we'll play a clip of a speech that we pre-recorded.
The final round of one of my favorite tennis tournaments happened today. I'd been following the tournament for a couple of weeks and was really excited to see that one of my favorite tennis players had reached the final round. I was really excited this afternoon because he ended up winning the tournament. As soon as the match ended, I called my friends to tell them what happened, and we laughed about the match.
So now we can choose that audio recording, which has to be in a .wav format, and upload it to our site. And now it'll take only a moment for our site to process the audio. So here's our analysis page. On the left, you can see there's a full transcript of the speech that was given, and on the right, you can see graphs that analyze our sentiment and our emotion. So we rate each of these characteristics on a scale of negative 100 to 100, with negative 100 being negative connotation and positive 100 being positive connotation. So you can see that each of the phrases that we identified each have their own sentiment and emotion reading. So let's take line 9, for example. Line 9 says, I called my friends to tell them what happened and we laughed about the match. That's a very positive statement, so therefore we rated it with a high sentiment and emotion. Now let's take a more neutral line, as soon as the match ended. That doesn't really have much connotation at all, so we had rated it with a sentiment of 0 and emotion of 50. Now, the speech's tone was mostly even throughout, but it was mostly a positive tone, so we ended up with a positive emotion rating throughout the whole entire process.